This is Ask Ron with the Wolff Couple, Brian and Lynette Wolff.
Yes.
We are in a very special place, aren't we?
We are on the Oasis, Royal Caribbean ship, just leaving Rome, where we spent all day walking through the Colosseum, the Vatican, and many other places.
Oh my goodness, that was the first time ever I was in Rome and saw the Colosseum where all the
Yes.
people were fighting and
Where the gladiators.
Gladiators.
fought.
We saw Spartacus today.
Yeah.
Well, we think we saw it.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're out on the deck knocking out these questions we got. What do we got
Sure.
tonight?
That's right. Okay, question number 1 on Ask Ron.
Okay.
Roger Clayton from California.
Hey, Raj.
I have a potential tenant buyer who filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy in May
Uh-huh.
and had a final hearing on August 27th.
Mm-hmm.
He said it should get dismissal discharged in 30 days or so.
Okay.
With the bankruptcy is still pending, what is the risk for me to put a tenant buyer in there before the final discharge?
Well, I wouldn't do it. I would not do it. I would wait till it's discharged. He can wait 30 days, and if he can't, go find another tenant buyer. However, you haven't given me any of the numbers or anything.
Well, the only numbers he has is that down payment and monthly rent makes $8,000 a month, and $1,000. Well, no, he's got $8,000 down and $1,000 additional above his monthly payment.
Okay. Well, that's not bad terms, but I don't know. You really should check with your local attorney on that, because bankruptcy has different quirks in every single state. I'm not sure whether there's any peril to you or not, but I would not do it without having an attorney close the lease option, that's for sure. So it's better kept for a legal opinion.
You should have a bankruptcy attorney on your dream team, because it'll come up here and there, and it's good to have someone you can refer to for questions.
Or you can get your closing attorney to check with a bankruptcy attorney on it as well.
All right. Question number 2. I want to make sure it was recording. Connie Foy from Florida. Hey, Ron, if I put my property in a land trust and then sell the property, can you reuse the same land trust?
Well, A, there's no reason to, and B, when you deed the property from the trust to the new buyer, that trust is dead because it's no longer funded with anything. But I think you think of an LLC where I have to file an annual fee and all that. You don't have with a land trust. There's no reason to keep the same land trust, even if you could. But the answer is no. Every time you buy a property, you form a new land trust as soon as that deed is recorded. You're working too hard at trying to prevent nothing.
That's right.
Nothing to save.
People overthink those land trusts. Just read the
Indeed.
land trust agreement. If you really just read that, you really understand it a lot better.
When you deed that property out of the trust to the next buyer, it's dead. The trust is dead. There's no reason to try to save it.
Number 3. Will Rose from Georgia.
It will.
Ron, how do you know when you have the best attorney for your needs? And is there anything you can ask him or her to validate your choice?
Well, you have the best attorney when he does all the work and don't charge you any money. That would help. But since that ain't likely, listen, if he's a user-friendly attorney, if he works with investors, and he tries to help you get things done and not prevent you from getting things done, he's the right attorney.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. Make sure it's a real estate closing attorney, though, so he really knows what he's doing. That's what they do for a living. They'll know what they're doing.
You know, some of these guys are deal makers in their heads.
Yeah.
They want to put the deal together, and some of them are problem seekers, and they're looking for every way to blow the
And
deal
some of
up.
them think they represent both sides, and it's their job to go tell everything they know to the other side. They'll whack them people. Get somebody that's user-friendly. You'll know very quickly.
That's right. Number 4, Matthew from Massachusetts. Lease optioning a condo, how is the condo fees included? Meaning, do I figure that out on top of the rent or separate?
Well, I've done it both ways. I've collected the rent and just paid the condo fee out of it, which means the rent was higher than normal. But today, I collect the rent and add the condo fee to it, but I collect it. But you got to show it on your deposit slip that that part of it is a condo fee and the rest is rent, because if they ever do go get a loan, the bank will make you prove what's what, and your deposit slips will do it. So when you make the deposit, just keep those deposit slips and be ready to prove them when necessary.
That's kind of.
I make the tenant buyer pay the condo fee. They're getting a benefit out of it. I'm not, so why not? Should they pay it?
So do
But
we.
I'm never going to let them pay it directly to the association.
Why is that,
How do you
Ron?
think I learned that one? Yeah.
And guys, the same thing goes for an HOA fee, which you're gonna run into with single family residences.
Well, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah, or condo, any kind of fee you're gonna pay like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, last question. Fernando Diaz from Connecticut. I have been able to convince several sellers to take over their payments and do a mortgage wrap.
Mhm.
Sellers have signed agreement, taken my deposit. However, most sellers want to have a lawyer review it.
Mhm.
I have found a lawyer that will represent the seller and represent me.
Mhm.
In these cases, most of the time, we can close. My attorney doesn't recommend closing a mortgage wrap without the seller having separate legal representation.
Mhm.
He indicates seller can later argue and sue. I see I can close more mortgage wraps without using a separate legal representation for seller. Do I need to look for a less conservative lawyer, and will he be comfortable representing me
Well,
and the seller?
Did your lawyer tell you he did not want to do any more of them, or he just didn't like it? If he just didn't like it, but he still will do them, there isn't any problem. I can understand where he's coming from. I assume he's getting both buyer and seller to sign a statement that he's not representing either one of you. But I get his concerns. But I do not want another lawyer involved unless I can help it. You're right. The more lawyers involved, the more they screw everything up for you. Because
Yes.
they really don't understand what you do, and it's their job to bring out all the evils of owner financing. So I really need to have a conversation with your own attorney. And then if it comes down to where you got to go get another lawyer, maybe your attorney could help you find one that is more friendly to the closing, so that if you needed to, you could refer that lawyer, and you know that lawyer already is going to help you get it closed without having. Of course, they still got to represent their client. They still got to tell them that, if you don't pay, they got to take the property back. You should have already told them that before you even got to that point, so there shouldn't be any surprises there. But yeah, I'd want another user-friendly lawyer standing by in case I needed them.
That's a great idea too, guys, because then your attorney who wants to represent you, but maybe has a little comfort issue with dual representation, and agents have the same issue too. They can refer somebody that they already know, who they know can work together, that they've worked together, they've closed deals with this person before, and that way, if you have to bring in another attorney, everybody's more comfortable potentially, and that way everybody's covered as well.
And you know what, this brings to mind, here on the cruise, I actually did do a deal meeting, because of that really cool app. It's called, WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
WhatsApp, it's free to do video, by the way, and free texting. Anyway, so I did a deal meeting with one of the students that me and Brian are mentoring, and at the deal meeting, the seller was reluctant to sign the purchase and sale agreement because he wanted his attorney to look at it. So we had the perfect solution. What we did was, on paragraph 18, you want to give him the verbiage, honey?
Well, you can always have the attorney review the agreement later.
Or you
So
can-
one option is actually writing in there, actually seller allows, now you're talking about the seller.
Yeah, the
So,
seller was reluctant.
Yeah,
because-
buyer allows seller 5 days to consult with attorney and get acceptable review of documents. Something along those lines. And
This agreement is subject to the seller's attorney's approval.
yeah.
Yes.
And so, and you can put a time limit on that, and if that time, sometimes that time limit will pass, and you'll never hear anything, just, it's gonna go forward.
And I can make you the case if the seller says, no, I want him to take a look at this first, then I'm gonna say, well, listen, are you ready to sell or not? Because it says right here, if your attorney don't approve it, you can get out.
Right.
And so if you're not willing to get an agreement with me right now, I don't think you really wanna sell. And maybe we should put this off until you're actually ready to sell. Am I reading you wrong, Mr. Seller?
Right.
If you give them an out and they still don't wanna get an agreement out and get it completed, I got a feeling they're just not even real.
Yeah, it gives you the real bargaining power to hold their feet to the fire and see if they're for real.
And
So-
you know what, the purpose of the deal meeting is to get the seller to
Yeah.
okay the paperwork.
That's
Plus, if you sign it now and they sign it now and they take it to the attorney and the attorney does approve it, now you don't have to get back together and get an agreement signed. You can
That's
just go
right.
ahead and get it closed at that
Yeah.
point. And that's what you use when you're making the case why they need to sign it now.
Yeah, you're all good to go
That's
then?
right.
All right, is that it?
One more question. All the students want to know how they can go on a cruise with you, Ron.
Oh, call your travel agent and pay big money. That's
Yeah.
Because this wasn't a cheap cruise. No.
This has been amazing, guys. We've
Yeah.
been in Barcelona, Spain, Italy, France, and every place we go, incredible views. We've been sending you guys stuff. You watch for the Gold Club. We'll have pictures up there and everything. You can enjoy
Pictures
the
and
vacation.
video. You've been doing video.
Yes, that's right.
What food too. Oh,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
What
Oh,
food. So we just
Every
had a
cruise gets you.
killer dinner tonight.
it really
Yeah.
was.
All right, well, that's enough about us.
Yeah.
Okay, go out and get something going. You're about to run out of year, so go make some money. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.